for coming. There's some new faces on here. I would encourage everyone to turn on their cameras if you are able, so we can get to know some of you a little bit better. Welcome to our virtual EWL Explores event with Maggie. So we're gonna start with a quick poll just to kind of gauge where everyone's at, break the ice a little bit. So bear with me as I try to navigate a screen share on my iPad. Only the host can share content.
One moment. I'll make you. It should work now.
Okay, thank you. All right, can you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay, so I did a poll for all of us to start today, and you can navigate there by either typing in that URL into your search bar, or you can scan the QR code with your photo on your camera, the camera on your phone, and then there will be like a pop-up that comes and you can navigate there. So I'll give you all just a second. So I want to start with just a baseline. How long have you been in EWL? All right, so we got some fresh faces. We also have some veterans here. Welcome, welcome. We've got a couple people still navigating. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next one. What best describes your expectations for this session? Are you here for the food? You want to learn how Maggie built her business? Or is this a really good excuse to start happy hour at 4? Thank you for laughing. I am trying and don't like doing this. So the silence is killing me.
How can we pick all 3, Ashley?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't make it multiple choice. My bad. Okay, so we got another person joining. Awesome, Maggie, we got high hopes here. Want to learn about the food as well as how you built this. Okay, so where are you professionally right now? Are you running your own business full time? Are you working on a side hustle while still doing your 9 to 5? Or are you in more of a traditional full-time role, whether that be a corporate or a nonprofit or etc.? All right. Like to see the couple side hustles here. I am also very guilty of the traditional 9 to 5 role. That feels like plenty for me these days. So those of you that are doing the side hustle, I give you big kudos. All right. Which best describes yourself? Love to cook. You need to follow that step-by-step recipe. I cannot experiment. Is cooking kind of a chore? And is your pantry in need of some inspiration? I do believe this one is multiple choice, unless that is user error. So.
Ashley, I'm really impressed with your polling skills.
I mean, guys, I learned how to do this at 2 o'clock today, so I'm actually impressed also.
You're gonna have to teach us.
This is the last, two more. Okay, so where are you finding new inspiration for your recipes? Are you looking at those old cookbooks you got tucked away in your drawer, Pinterest, social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc., or are you going by what your friends want to say is good?
Oh, I love seeing all the cookbook answers.
This is awesome. Okay, lastly, what's your favorite beverage while you're cooking? Let's lighten it up a little bit. This is happy hour. What do you prefer?
This should just be yes or no.
All of the above.
Good
All
choice.
Right. Great wine. I appreciate that. I appreciate a good glass of wine. So have one for me right now, everyone. All right, I'm going to stop this. Let's navigate back to Zoom, and I'm going to turn it over to Maggie, who's going to kick us off.
Awesome.
Maybe.
I think everybody can see me again. So hi, everybody. I am Maggie Joos, and I'm very honored that you guys are willing to give me an hour of your time and to talk about just kind of the thing we have to do every day, right? And I think before I do anything, I do want to address just kind of why is this still appropriate for right now when the world is kind of on fire? And I don't know. I know our leadership decided this was still okay, but for myself personally, of first of all, I want to thank Tempo for Jen for the message that she put out earlier or late last week of just some of us, myself included, have a lot of work to do, and this is going to be a place where I can get some of that work done, and then. To having that conversation on Tuesday was a great place to start. So we have that, and then we also have COVID that we're all dealing with, and whether you're dealing with that kind of just in theory, if you're now working at home versus in the office, if you're working with kids around, which I say warning of my whole herd is going to come through here at any moment, of just life looks a lot different. And with that said, of you still have to eat dinner every night. You still have to go to work every day. And so it's just getting really hard to do those basic tasks every day where you're still using a lot of brain space for all these quite frankly more important things, right? So let's help with that. Let's try to make it easier. And really quickly, my business is Real Good Life. It's a meal delivery service based in Tosa, and we serve all around the Milwaukee area. I do see a couple of friendly faces, customers here, and see friendly names. Would love to see the faces too. But either way, we mostly serve families. We serve busy women. It's mostly women that are our customers, and just trying to take dinner off your plate. So this is one other way that we do it. We do have a whole blog of recipes, and then I'm trying something new, trying some skills of speaking myself. So with everything going on in the world, step one of just how do we find our inspiration is we just put it down and walk away. I give you full permission to get a frozen pizza out of the freezer and make that for dinner. Full permission to, once this is done, turn your phone off for the night. Don't look at email. Don't look at anything else. Of just take some time to step away from that thing of we're burning our candles on all the ends, not just the front and the bottom. So we need to just take some pause away from the thing, whether it's dinner or our work or whatever it is. That said, when we're ready to come back, there's a couple different places we can find it. And maybe instead of just aimlessly scrolling in our social media feeds, I've tried to be a little bit more strategic about that. And in relation to cooking, I have 3 that I really love that they feed their families the same way I feed my family. So it's good to go, whether it's specific recipes or just kind of get an idea. And Ashley's going to help and put in the chat box the links for these 3. And then also for work stuff that I have 3 that I really love. Katie Reswell, one of our own, that she has great inspirational messages just to keep you going on there. And then Kara Golden, she is the CEO of Hint Water, which isn't very big here in this area, but she's done a really neat job of being a CEO of a business and running a podcast and running a family and all these things. So just kind of finding someone who speaks to who I want to be when I grow up. And then finally, Padma Lakshmi from Top Chef. She also is doing a great job of just being present in the world, doing her work, and then also having her daughter around all the time to see what she's doing. So that's places for online. Other things that we're dealing with. So again, going back to that COVID thing, all of our festivals are canceled. Just found out Summerfest today is not going to happen in 2020. And can't really go to our restaurants and have our traditional experience. So what are you missing there? I don't know how I'm going to be able to recreate the eggplant strips from Venice Club, but I'm going to try and see what else I can do with eggplant to replace it. Same thing goes for some of the restaurants that I'm not going to be able to go sit in and see if I can do try to do something similar to those places. And then finally, farmers markets and grocery stores are things that I would have said before. Just go wander around, see what calls your name. Again, we can't do that exactly, but we can go in with a thing in mind, and we can do some of this stuff virtually now. Farmers markets are being really neat about letting you order ahead of time through the different farmers and purveyors. And then also same thing for the grocery store. If you have not taken advantage yet of all the different online ways to place your order ahead of time, definitely should. And then I just every now and then just get hankering for something and thinking about this. Oh, before I do that, you guys were all talking about cookbooks, so I pulled this out. This one, The Minimalist Kitchen. It is Melissa Coleman. The Faux Martha is her blog. She has just the best recipes, and they are great, simple stuff you probably have in your pantry. I have a 3 recipe rule. I'll get cookbooks from the library, and I have to make at least 3 recipes to make it worth buying. And that is one that I think I've solidly made at least 20 out of, which is unheard of for me with my shiny object syndrome. So anyways, we got that. Then we have our products, and this Costco pesto is something that I like once a quarter just get a hankering for, because it's relatively cheap and it's relatively good ingredients. Obviously you can tell from the size of this versus my hand, it's a huge container, so you can use whatever you want, use it for a couple different meals, and then put it in you can do the extra in the freezer. You can use ice cube trays to just get little, 1-2 table ounce servings. Then you can throw that in soups, in different pasta dishes, that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do today, I have 3 different recipes that I wanted to try to go through quick. And one is, and this was the thing I was trying, I need to get a camera 1, camera 2. But earlier today, I made this, which I consider my base vegetables. It's onions, pint of cherry tomatoes, and then 2 big handfuls of spinach. And I just saute all that up. You can see at what stage it is now. And where it is now, this is a great base for frittata. So you take 8 to 10 eggs, depending on how eggy you want something to be. Whisk that all up with salt and pepper. You can pour that right here into this pan, maybe top with some goat cheese or something, or if you have some sausage, maybe some old bacon. Not old bacon, use cooked bacon. Throw that in there, and then you let it sit over medium to low heat for a little while here on the stove top. Exactly, Britt. And then you put in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes or so until it gets good and golden on top. And that's something that it'll be great for dinner tonight, and then it also lasts. It's really good for lunch the next couple of days. You can have it at room temperature or heat it up again. Then the next thing I want to do is I made a pot of pasta, rotini pasta. Word, Cassie, I agree. Goat cheese on everything. So made my pasta, and I'm going to take these vegetables that I already made. And again, it was 1 onion, 1 pint of cherry tomatoes, and about maybe 2 cups of spinach, olive oil, salt, and pepper all together. And then going to use our pesto as the sauce. This could be tomato sauce if that's what you have. Don't go, I think that's our other thing. We always make everything so difficult on ourselves and thinking we have to use new products and get more stuff. And really, if you look in your fridge, you probably can make 4 different dinners with what you have. This is, of course, oil-based, so we don't want to just pour in the whole jar. Kind of start with maybe 1/2 cup to a cup. This looks really pretty as it's pouring in, she says sarcastically. Stir it together. And you just want to make sure that everything gets it coated. I'm gonna add in a little bit more. And then while I'm doing this, I also want to show you these guys. I brought these home from our kitchen, commercial kitchen, but they're containers that you can also get on Amazon. You can get 15 for a decent price, and those go great in the freezer. So when you make a pasta dish like this, go ahead and make the whole pound of pasta and make the equivalent sauce and vegetables and everything. And then you can use those kind of containers to put your leftovers in and store that in the freezer. And then you have dinners for those nights that you really don't feel like cooking. So we've got that. Cassie, here's our goat cheese. We're gonna put in this one. And stir it all together some more. And then this is a dish that you can either do it warm, where it is right now, and Or you could do it as kind of a cold pasta salad if we ever get to go to backyard barbecues again. Or again, if you put it in the freezer, just thaw it overnight in the fridge, and then you can put it in the oven to bake when it's time to cook. So that's dish number one. Actually, I guess that's dish number two. Then dish number three is just a really easy kebab idea. And so earlier today, you can see here, I have 4 little kebab sticks. And you need to make sure you soak them in water. This is something I learned the hard way. If you don't do that, the sticks are gonna burn. So you have your sticks. And then I found, I was gonna do this with chicken since I had pesto. Sasha, I just see the beginning of that question, so I'll come back to that in a second, or at the end after the recipes, and Ashley will help me. But so I was gonna do this with chicken, and then when I went to the store, they had a neat looking Gouda and apple pork sausage that I thought would be kind of interesting with the pesto. So, and it's literally 4 of those. That looks really pretty on TV, doesn't it? And then 2 peppers, 1 red and 1 yellow. And you can just string these through on the sticks. And again, kind of toss it with the pesto sauce. And if you have time to do that ahead of time and maybe let it sit for max like 30 minutes, you don't want the sticks, or you don't want everything to get too soggy, but that would help keep everything nice and oiled. So when you put it on the grill, it won't stick at all. I didn't do my research on how long and what temperature on the grill. I always give that part of the job to my husband. But I'm sure we can find that for you if you want. So then the last thing I've been,
husband grills all of the time, same.
right? It's just once it goes out the door of just that, yeah, I'll be back in here. So as you see, I have, well, I guess you can't see, the stickers all around, but I have about this much left in the jar. So that definitely, it'll last for 3 weeks or so. And that would give me the opportunity to make a couple other dishes. Again, eggs, just like scrambled eggs, it'd be good thrown in there. If you make tomato soup, throw in a couple of tablespoons in there. Again, just kind of using what you've got. But then the last thing I want to talk about with this one of the other dish I'm gonna miss from festival foods is the thing Le Rev does for Bastille Days, the tomato brie and pesto sandwich. I don't know about any of you, but I've gotten suckered into the sourdough baking of COVID. And so I do actually have fresh bread around here now. And so tomorrow night, since I made all this for tonight, tomorrow night, that's what we are going to have, is those sandwiches. And then finally, so some of you, most of you said that you do like cooking, but some of you said that it's a chore. And I think for all of us, I've made my whole career about cooking dinner, and some nights of just, I don't want to do it. Just, no, you can't pay me enough to make dinner tonight. And so those are the nights that either we go out and we support our local restaurants, or have some things in the freezer or the fridge that are just really easy, ready to go. So my quick rundown, and I want you to think about it because I'd love to have a quick chat if you have something to. Costco and Trader Joe's are both really good for those quick meals. Costco has these fish. It's a tortilla crusted tilapia fish that you throw in the oven that my girls love. It's kind of spicy, so it surprises me, but they love it. Their pizzas are great. They have a cauliflower crust pizza that has roasted vegetables on top that's really tasty. And again, the kids will eat it if I also have pepperoni pizza, and they have 1-to-1 each. And then I am totally blanking on the other ones that I was going to share from there. But then you have that. Trader Joe's has anything in their freezer section is great. Anything in their deli section is great and relatively fresh. A lot of sodium, but the deli stuff is pretty good. And so I would love to know from you guys, you ladies, if you have any suggestions for your quick meals of things that you can throw together without thinking about it. So let's hear it. And if there is none, I'd love to hear that. But then Ashley, if you could also help me if there was any questions along the way.
I feel like sometimes a good quick meal for us, like if we just throw barbecue, if we just like throw chicken on the grill and throw some barbecue sauce on it and have like a salad with it, or maybe, you know, add in some like couscous just so there's a third item on the plate. You know, that, or like a chicken salad, something like that for us, or like packaged pasta, that kind of thing. And then add in your own vegetables to make you feel a little more Martha.
Exactly. Exactly.
We always keep nans in the fridge, those flatbreads. So it's
Mhm.
super easy to throw, like if there's leftover chicken, and you can just put like some garlic sauce or olive oil or even pizza sauce sometimes, or like Britt said, buffalo or barbecue. I feel like they're just so easy to spice up. But there's a couple of great suggestions in the chat. Grilled cheese, obviously, is incredible. Burrito bowls from Sarah. Get the jalapeno chicken. Sarah, you want to tell us about that? Putting you on the spot, girl.
Oh, yep, sorry. Okay, you know how they have all those like flavored chicken sausages? Like, I don't know, by the meat? There's one that's jalapeno flavor. So I literally just like slice that up and like, you know, quickly stir fry it, and then get some pico de gallo, some guac, whatever, and just like make your at-home burrito bowls. And I always make like 4 at a time because I love to, you know, make food once for several days.
Yeah.
Good plan.
That brings up a great question that I think Sasha asked. Maggie, do you recommend those boxes over freezer bags? And if so, why?
I do like those better, only because you can just take the lid or loosen the lid if you do need to keep it covered to bake. Otherwise, just take the lid off and you can throw that right in the oven. I do put it on a cookie sheet in case it gets a little wobbly, because it is really just foil. But then you cook it in that, and then you can throw it in the recycling when you're done. And that's it. No dishes. Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for those suggestions, ladies. I saw the grilled cheese, and somebody also recommended the Annie's mac and cheese. We have mac and cheese Friday for lunch every week. Put some peas in it, and it's like equal amount peas to pasta, and girls eat it, and it's vegetables, and I can check that one off the list.
You'll be happy to know that Jordan says she just defaults to the Real Good Life.
Yay, Jordan!
Pretty much every Wednesday.
We love you.
Right back at ya.
Thanks.
Scrambled eggs is something I definitely don't do enough of, Danielle. That's a great reminder. It's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've actually started doing that about once a week during COVID, and it's great because it's so easy to do.
Mm-hmm. I do a lot of hash too. Like, I've just discovered eggs as a thing, and so just put a whole bunch of vegetables in the oven to roast. It's getting a little hot to do that now, but do that, and then either fry up some eggs, or I've learned recently, and this is a dish we did in the kitchen, is you can just crack the eggs right on the sheet pan and put it back in the oven for a few minutes, and then it cooks right there. Again, less dishes. Anytime we can get less dishes, the better.
Oh, wonderful. Maggie, we've got about a half hour, a little over a half hour. Do you want to transition to talk a little bit more about how you started the Real Good Life?
Sure, definitely. So my history is yes, Lindsay, I love fried rice is really good too. I'll have rice with every meal if I could. Anyways, I went to school for hospitality management, thinking I wanted to own a restaurant, and worked in enough restaurants to realize that those hours were just not for me. I like my nights and weekends. And so with that degree, pretty much the only job you can do 9 to 5 is do meeting and convention planning. And so I worked with associations for about 10 years, and always kept on circling around to food. If I tried doing a dessert catering business, this is all because I really like chocolate chip cookies, and there's enough bakeries out in the world. And so I didn't want to open that up. But I tried to do this catering business, and really got stuck at at the time, had to have a commercial kitchen to do any sort of baking for sale or cooking for sale in the state of Wisconsin. And that just got too cost prohibitive. So let that go. Ended up getting married, and with the support of my husband, tried another entrepreneurial idea. And it was, if any of you guys remember, there for a while, it was really trendy to have fabric bouquets or wedding bouquets that were made out of antique jewelry, or just things that were important to your family heirloom stuff. I did that for my wedding, and people thought that was a really cool idea, and they liked what they did. So I tried to start that as a business, and it was fun, but it was telling people what the problem was and then trying to answer that problem, versus fast forward here with the Real Good Life. And when I was trying to figure out later on of what was next, of just, everybody needs to eat dinner every night. And at the time I had one daughter and she was just getting to the point of eating dinner with us. And all of a sudden we went from eating at 8 or whenever we would get around to it to she needs to eat dinner at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we get home at like 5. So how is that supposed to happen? So I got this great idea, and I'm going to start another business, and isn't this fun? And my husband's like, cool. But at the time I was pregnant with number 2, and just so however you square it, you're going to have to take some time off next summer. So maybe now isn't the right time to start a new business. So he was right. And I took 3 months to cook out of my home and kind of get some basic idea recipes together, get a website up, do some of the basic things to also make sure I still liked it. That was part of the problem. If you heard me mention a second ago, if I have shiny object syndrome, and I get really sidetracked really fast. And so making sure I still liked cooking when I had to do it for a whole bunch of people. Turns out I did. And so Charlotte was born in May. The Real Good Life was born in September of 2016. And from there, it kind of took off. I spent a year by myself in a church kitchen, doing all of the cooking and packing and then delivering myself on Wednesdays, and then hired my first employee who's still with me and got our commercial kitchen in Wauwatosa. We're right on North Avenue, 72nd and North Avenue. And since then, it's just taken off. We've been so fortunate to serve so many people in town and to see the business grow both out in the world and then also internally. Of that, I now manage, we have 5 people in the kitchen and 5 delivery drivers, and then a couple outside people helping with social media and all the online stuff that we have to do. And it's really cool. It's still, it's my dream job. It's still relatively part-time when I need it to be. That, like I said, I have lunch with my girls on Fridays, and I can kind of turn it off when I need to. But that being said, being my dream job, it took away, did all this because I thought 2 things. 1, I want to be better, and 2, I love to cook. But when you have to cook every day, I didn't want to do it anymore. And when you have to be a business owner every day and all these kinds of things are coming around, do I need to wear, my people wear masks? Is it safe to go to the store? Do I need to put, are my windows going to get busted up? Just all this kind of different stuff that I never would have thought was part of being a business owner makes it really hard to just care about what's my social media going to be, what's my plan. And Kylie's and her team's going to help me with that because I need help. But just, we all get burnt out no matter where we are. And that kind of goes into the inspiration for this as well too, of that I had to take a step back, and I realized part of the problem was I was working every day of the week, even though it was just, a few days a week, it was just a couple hours, it was still a couple hours and never turning it off in my head. And so I make sure I take at least Saturday off to not think about business at all. And that gets me excited to come back again on Monday. And then also thinking about our customers. Of what I like to say and what I really mean is that we serve people through food, but the whole reason we're doing what we're doing is to give people their time back, to whether it's to be able to sit down with their family or to be able to eat something quick so they can get back to their day job that is really important, really gratifying to them, or maybe they need to go out and marathon train and so they don't have time to make dinner, or maybe they're a tempo leader and it's 8 o'clock by the time they can sit down. And so we want to help people whatever they're passionate about through our passion. And so just reminding myself that we're doing this we're not just doing it for kicks, that we're serving other people, makes me want to get up and do it. And then finally, for anyone else who's a mom, of you might feel this too, of watching my girls watch me do this. Is the first time I went to the kitchen with them and they said, "Mommy, is this your kitchen? This is all for you?" And this is like, yeah, it is. Mommy is the business lady here, and isn't this cool? And so for them to be able to see that, 1, I can do it, but 2, it's no big deal. It's the same thing as any other job that somebody else does. So just, yeah, this is something else I can do and not some big insurmountable goal. Makes me want to do it really well. So that's my story. So I think what some of the things I would like to ask for you guys, if you are starting to feel a little burnt out with whatever it is that you are doing at work, is to think about those same things of taking a step back. Of maybe you're an accountant, maybe you're in HR, maybe you're doing marketing, of just what those are technically the things you're doing, but why are you doing them? What is it ultimately serving? Maybe you really love the mission of your business. Maybe you really love your coworkers. Maybe just whatever that thing you're ultimately doing is, and kind of reminding yourself of that. And then also finding your own cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader in high school, and I've never really put those pom-poms down of just, I want to make sure everyone in my circles are doing whatever it is they want to do, be a stay-at-home mom, run a 5K for the first time, whatever is their thing. I want to make sure they're happy with it. And so find those kinds of people in your life. I think this EWL group, just for the 6 months I've been a member, has definitely helped me with that already. And then having my own personal board of directors of those friends that I can go to with all kinds of questions, personal and business, and that are going to give me the straight answers. And I like them enough that they can tell me, no, Maggie, that's a dumb idea. Don't do that. And I'll listen versus take offense to it. So find those people. Hopefully your significant other or someone else in your house is someone else who you can turn to for those things as well. And then when you say, okay, Maggie, that's cool, but my job just really stinks right now. I'm glad I have a job, yay, but it just really stinks. That happens too. Those moments happen. So just thinking about what skills are you working on right now that could build up your resume for when new jobs are a little bit more prevalent and easier to find. And just focus in on those skills, do your work when you're at work, and then turn it off, go home, and go to the other room of your house and try to focus on other things that really do give you life again. And then think about, with COVID going on, of two things. One, does that provide you an opportunity to talk to your supervisors about things that you can change? Of one, of, hey, we've seen working from home works since we've had to, can I just stay here forever? Or maybe having summer hours of that we've seen that we have to work in these weird schedules and it works. So how about we say that on Fridays we're going to be done at noon, but we'll make sure we get all of our work done at this other point in the week. So seeing if there's anything that you could take from a not great job, but make it work into your life and give you more opportunity to do those things you do like. And then the other part of that is, I think, with all these new stressors that have been put on us at work, everyone I've talked to, I keep hearing that people are losing their jobs, and it's really, I hate to hear that, but everyone I talk to keeps saying, I'm so busy, I have so much more stuff to do. And is this opportunity you could wave the white flag to your boss and say, hey, look, I can't do all of this. So let's talk about what is our priorities right now, and give me a chance to focus on that versus let me do an A+ job on these 3 things versus a C- job on the 25 things you think I can get done in a week. And then finally, note that I put for myself is, like I just said, we're all really busy. We're all really stressed, but we have never not been busy. Busy is what we do to ourselves. And here comes my folks. But we always have too much to do. And I think if you try, you can probably find 30 minutes in a day to do something that you really love. Maybe I finally turned off Facebook this week. Yay. And so with that, I now have so much more time, and like putting together this workshop, I just sat down and wrote out an outline in 23 minutes. And it just kind of came spilling out of me when it was time to do it. But I was able to get something really cool, and that I might be able to use, hopefully help you guys, but maybe use again and get that done in 30. So maybe for work, you could do that too. If you just kind of set some blocks, give yourself, I forgot the name of the official plan, but you give yourself blocks of 20 minutes and then 10 minutes off, and just work in that and just get through the day. So with that, I would love to know if you guys have any questions about me and the business, or just things that are helping you get through this time, kind of specific to work, but also work and life are all kind of tied together right now. So yeah, let's hear it.
Maggie, I have kind of an interesting question for you. So what is the relationship like, or is there a relationship between you and the other not so good meal delivery services in Milwaukee?
That has been a really interesting question since we started, or something I've grappled with, because I always offer up way more information than I probably should in all the different ways. And that's been one way of, is this appropriate for us to talk about or not? And there's two women in town that I think are great at what they do, meal delivery services, that we are all just a little bit different of who we are serving and the kind of food we're serving. But it's still meal delivery, right? So how different can it be? So I do talk with them and use them as a resource for just what are they seeing as successful here in town. And we are all roughly the same size of business. So we can help each other out in some ways and take from each other in other ways. And just kind of that whole rising tide raises all boats. Meal delivery is still relatively new. And so I think the more all of us are out there, the more people will get comfortable with the idea of what it is, and ultimately would help bring more customers back to us. Any other questions? How about what is getting you through your workday, besides the promise of the glass of wine or ice cream sundae at the end of the day? And maybe that's it. That works for me.
I think for me, this is Jordan. Obviously, I work in healthcare, so those patients are what gets me through the day. But I'm curious, and apologies if you said this and I missed it, but do you feel like, as like the owner of your business, do you feel like you, on average, work more than a 40-hour work week, less, about 40? Like, how do you feel you do with the balance, or?
I think for the most part, I bet you I'm max at 40. And when this first started, when I was doing everything by myself, it was kind of on purpose to keep it part-time. Yep. Because I did have a brand new baby and then a 2-year-old at the time, and wanting to make sure to have that balance. And now it's been kind of interesting of that has turned into a really good market for employees. I have a lot of women and one gentleman who were stay-at-home parents before, but our work is mostly done between 9 and 3. Mm-hmm. And so back when there was a thing called school that we could send kids off to, that they were able to get their work done in that time frame. And so with that, I try to squeeze in as much as I can there. And again, having the girls at home has really made me focus on when I get to actually work. My husband's here working from home as well, but I have figured out his job is just to be in meetings all day. And so whenever I'm home, I'm kind of head cheerleader or head ringleader. So whenever I get 2 hours of rest time in the afternoon when they supposedly nap, and that's when I have to cram all the rest of my stuff in.
Yeah, no, that's really great that you have kind of kept it at a 40-hour work week. And then, like, kind of following up on that, when you do take vacation, do you delegate to others, or what happens?
I do now. And that was the first. So when it first got going, I just like shut everything down for a couple, however long we were gone, I shut us down. And this is the first year we're not going to shut down the weeks around the 4th of July. Just because nobody's going on vacation. But I did that kind of for sanity. And then the week around Christmas and New Year's, we take off as well, just to let everybody turn everything off for a little bit. But now I do delegate, and I have such an amazing team of I'm in a kind of tough spot. This is the first time I've been a boss. And so there's a lot of things to learn there about just how, the actual HR logistics, but then also just how to motivate and whatever. But the people we have that last of just, they're so cool and I want to be their friends. And so that kind of makes HR a little more difficult, of just that I want to hang out with you guys and not like tell you to go do your work. And they're great workers too, don't get me wrong. But so with that, and now took a while, I'm an only child. Everything is all mine. That now feel much better of just handing things over and trusting that they will do the right thing. Those are great questions. And I love any reminder to talk about how awesome the team is. I love our customers. They're great too, but any excuse to be able to get together with these folks is a good one as well.
Maggie, this is Kylie. Quick question for you. What are you most excited about that's coming up next? Whatever that might look like for the Real Good Life.
I think so. I have had this idea forever that this is just the first of many, and I want to have these community kitchens all over the nation. And so number two, the idea of having a second location has been kind of on the horizon, man, now for over a year, and I feel like things keep getting in the way. But we just had a conversation this week again at work of just, let's start looking again. It really makes me sad that now is the time that we're unfortunately probably going to lose some restaurants here in the next few months. But with that said, there's going to be kitchens and stoves, and there's going to be space available and things to buy. And so now might be the right time for us to think about a second spot. So that's coming sometime, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 3 years, but sometime. Awesome. We are a little early to finish. So are there any other questions or any other things you're doing to get through the day?
Maggie, you talked before about your Costco finds, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to sit here and listen to you the whole time. I love listening to you talk about your business. But Costco saves my ass on a regular basis. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jess. I lead an accounting team, and I have been working from home since my last day in the office was March 13th, and I won't go back until there's some sort of school or camp for my 10-year-old, which means it's likely that I'm home until September.
Yeah.
So Costco deliver. I know. So my thing that I've done is that Costco, you can do your same day groceries, and it's Instacart, and you pay a fee, and your Costco prices are a little bit more inflated. But to save my sanity, speaking of the 10-year-old, that was her. To save my sanity, we've had Costco deliver. So awesome. Things that are awesome for us are the little guacamole packs, the chicken skewer in the 2-pack, egg burritos, mini frozen pizzas, the big, huge bag of frozen vegetables, mixed vegetables that I can just throw on a sheet pan and throw in the oven. Because I have a crazy busy job regularly. And then the last 3 months have been exponentially crazy. So I needed to pivot and think, what can we quickly make happen? Because I used to make lunch in the morning, and now I'm like, shit, it's noon. Somebody needs to eat. So those are some of the things. Also, I am not above frozen anything. So chicken pot pies. Sydney loves them, and I feel like there's 2 vegetables in there, so we'll take it. And then you mentioned Trader Joe's. Their macaroni and cheese in the frozen packet. They have full fat and reduced fat. Both are amazing, and their veggie stir fry. Veggie fried rice with the chicken skewer on the side or whatever. We easily could down 2 bags in a sitting in this house. It's fantastic. And there's only 3 of us, but so those are my picks for saving my sanity.
I love it. That I really just anytime, again, that we try to make it all fancier, we get our cookbooks and think we need to make our own sauces and whatever. And yes, that's great. And if that, now that I've been able to hand off most of the work cooking to our amazing kitchen team, coming back home, cooking is my happy place, and it's the place where sometimes the girls participate, and that's cool, and other times they go away and I can listen to a podcast or an audiobook, and it's more for mental health than just feeding folks. But other times you just need to get it done, and just what can be done quick. I've made something this week that I cut up a sweet potato, 2 zucchinis, and then we had 2 chicken breasts, put it all in olive oil and salt and pepper, and we grilled it. And then I made a really neat sauce that'll be on social media sometime soon, a bang bang sauce. If any of you guys know the Bonefish Grill bang bang shrimp tacos. It's a sauce for that. That took 12 seconds, and it was amazing. And maybe 5 minutes of work, again, handing off the grilled stuff to Randy, but don't have to try that hard. It's something tasty.
Maggie, what's your favorite meal that you make for the kitchen, and what's the most popular meal that is sold through the kitchen?
The first thing that comes to mind is the answer to both of those, that we have a cilantro chicken enchilada dish, that it's more of a cream sauce. It's cream cheese and salsa verde and cilantro as the sauce inside, and then the enchilada sauce on top. That is really tasty, and people love it. And then we also, what was it? We have this beef dish that the last time we made it, it's Thai beef. I'm not sure why it's called Thai beef, because I can't imagine it's actually Thai at all, but it's ground beef with fish sauce and soy sauce and brown sugar and red peppers all stir fried together, and a coconut rice that you serve with it. And we had so many orders the last time we did it. It was a solid like 6 hours, 3 people working on all the different components and getting it packed up, and before we could get to the other stuff. So that's a popular one too.
The Thai beef was incredible, Maggie. I got it.
Yay. It's been really interesting to see how food trends have changed over the almost 4 years that I've been doing this, and how meat seems to come and go if people are interested in it or not. Fish is still always a tough sell. And that's partially I can appreciate, of just, you don't want fish traveling all that, traveling around. But definitely it's maybe like half as popular as other things. So if you are a customer of ours and wonder why do we not offer fish that often, it's because folks don't want it. And then also you can tell of, like, in January we have a lot more salads and healthier soups than that Thai beef recipe I was just talking about, and tater tot casseroles. Those always go, no matter the time of year.
I feel like that's a staple Midwestern dish. Tater tot casserole.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I received a question. So it sounds like Power Sheets is a great tool to help set clear goals. Are there other organizational tools that you recommend to help set your goals and to continue to achieve them?
Yeah, that's a great reminder of that. I kind of, borrowing off the idea of Power Sheets, have made my own worksheet that I would be happy to share with anyone if you want it. But really what it boils down to is I'm a nerd, and I make my own personal and then work-related strategic plan every year. And then I take each month, look at that plan, and have kind of the start of this page is what mini goals do I want to reach for the month? What things do I want to do every day? So at the bottom of it, I have, exercise daily, of write. I want to write more, just kind of drink more water, kind of, those kinds of things on the bottom. And then in the middle of it, of things that I just want to make sure I do at least once a month. So like, what books have I read? What big work project have I finished? What date night? You remember when we also used to have those, of what date night did I go out on with Randy? And so it was just a neat kind of grounding, more than goal setting. It's a good grounding activity. But again, I'd be happy to share, but I think you guys could probably come up with your own idea too.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. We have about 10 minutes left. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, it might be great. We've got some new faces. Maybe if we can go around and do a round robin of introductions, so we get to know some of the brand new EWLers that are joining us today.
Ashley, do you want to roll call us?
Is
that
like that?
I'll introduce myself. I'll go.
Kelly.
Kelly. So I just joined EWL. Sorry, you can probably hear my 2-year-old screaming in the background. I'm super excited. I just moved back into the house after a 12-week kitchen renovation. So I'm super stoked to be using the kitchen again. It's been a long renovation in the basement, eating out of an Instapot or a microwave or just like a random little electric skillet. So I'm super stoked. I just got a bunch of new beautiful Le Creuset Dutch ovens that I'm excited to use as well. And my friend actually just sent me a brand new cookbook. Catholic Harvest is one of my favorite blogs to follow. So I have both of her cookbooks now, and that's two of my favorite things. But honestly, like cooking is probably my favorite hobby. Eating, well, next to eating, that's probably my other favorite one. But nice to meet you all. And Maggie, it was awesome hearing about your business as well.
Thank you.
Emily, you are first on my screen.
All right. Hi, everyone. Emily Bamey. I'm new to EWL. Also fairly new to Milwaukee. We moved here, well, I guess it's not that new anymore, but it was around a year ago. My husband got a job here. We moved up from Tennessee. I'm initially from Illinois, so much closer to my family now. We moved into our first home about 3 months ago in Wauwatosa, and we've been cooking every meal. So loved meeting you, Maggie, and hearing all these tips, and I'm excited to meet you all in person sometime.
Looking forward to meeting you too, Emily. Britt, you're next.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Britt Blackwelder. I have been in EWL since 2016. One of your leadership co-chairs this year. This is my last year doing that, but I love Maggie. I see familiar faces. I see new faces. Some nominations that I reviewed, which is awesome just to see you guys in here. And I think for many of you, this is your first event. So it's just awesome to see all of you. And yeah, thanks Maggie again for doing this. This was really awesome.
All right, Mara.
I am Mara Sabatini, and I am a healthcare project manager at HGA Architecture and Engineering firm. And I am a co-chair for our engagement committee and have been with EWL for the last year and a half, I guess. And this was awesome, Maggie. I was super excited about this. I love cooking, and I wrote down several new recipes to do, including Sarah, your burrito bowls was a fabulous idea also. I never thought to even do that. I've been eating way too many taco shells, and so I need to do some bowls.
Awesome. Jess?
Jess here. I am Director of Property Accounting for Founders 3 Real Estate Services. I lead a team of 10 on the management services side. And I have been with EWL, this is my second year, so like a year and a half.
Awesome. You also do Milwaukee Mom blog?
I used to write for Milwaukee Mom's blog, and that's how I originally met Maggie way back in the day. But I haven't written for them for, I think I've been, I don't know. I used to be.
I feel like every time I see you in a crowd, everyone's like, she wrote for Milwaukee Mom's blog.
I did,
so,
yeah. And it's funny that's like, a quick story about that. I blogged when Sydney was little and now she's 10, but it was always weird to me when somebody would see me or I'd see somebody in public or whatever and they're like, oh, I read your blog. And it was like reconciling that, I mean, I know it's real life, it's my life, I'm living it, but the reconciling the meeting people and they were like, oh, I read what you wrote. I was like, holy shit. Yes, I am that girl. I don't know if my stuff's up there anymore, but those were some fun times.
We'll go scour the blog for it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cassie.
Hey everyone, I'm Cassie Schell. I am lead strategic projects consultant at Goodwill Industries, Southeastern Wisconsin and Metro Chicago. I think this is my third year of EWL. I always kind of lose track of which year it was and when it started, and but it's been amazing. Thank you so much, Maggie. This was awesome. My go-to lately has been my air fryer, which I've been using more often than before all of this, and it is amazing.
Awesome. Kelsey.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelsey
Hi.
O'Hara. I work at Marquette University and co-run the Innovation Center on campus with a few others that are part of EWL. So we have a good representation in this group. Thank you. It's nice to meet all the new people. Thank you, Maggie, for sharing your story and some of your secrets. Since being in quarantine, I have gotten into doing homemade pasta. So I got the KitchenAid attachment and make that at least once a week. So that's my new foray into cooking.
Wow. Good for you.
Good for you. Next up, Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle Oberndorfer. I'm the controller at Selzorns Construction in Wauwatosa. I feel like these last 2 months I've been hanging on by a thread when it comes to prep and cooking. So kind of just doing whatever I can to survive. I have 2.5-year-old twins at home. And I'm juggling between running the office management, HR, accounting for the construction company, and my kids who don't have childcare right now. So that's and Maggie, you helped me survive. I don't know if you remember, but when I went back to work, my kids were 5 months old. I ordered from you religiously every single week for probably 5 to 6 months, and I helped me survive.
Yay.
I stopped, but now I need to get back into it for sure.
Well, we'd love to have you, but also love when we just give people a break so they can remember that they liked it again.
Yes.
All right. Jordan.
Perfect, because I was going to have to hop off to meet my EWL next group in a park. So I'm Jordan Spillane. I'm the director of ambulatory pharmacy at Freighter Health, and I have been in EWL Connects for 4 years. As I stated, love the real good life. I love cooking, although have not had much time for that recently. So thank you, Maggie, for opening the shop back up and feeding my family for me.
For sure.
Wonderful. Sasha.
Hello. I work at Marquette with Kelsey, and my job is literally to help empower women in underrepresented groups. So how awesome of a job is that? I love to eat. I hate to cook. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. So really, I was just on here for the fun of it. I'm literally not going to do any of that. I know I'm not. But it was fun to watch.
Well, thank you for coming.
Love the honesty. Lindsay. Lindsay, I think, has been on and off, so we may have her on mute and not be able to get there. But last but not least, we've got Kelsey and Marit, the glue of EWL.
Oh, Kelsey.
All right. Hello.
Oh, there she is.
I love that I'm following Sasha because same girl. I hate cooking. I love eating. So thanks for the tips. But no, I just went to Trader Joe's today, stocked up on some of those staples. Those help me out in the kitchen, but frozen food, good frozen food, right, is my go-to. There's a few things I know how to make, but other than that, I'm still learning. But I appreciate it. That's why I hopped on. I needed to.
Kelsey, are you kidding me right now? Your key lime pie is...
That's one of the only things I can make. I can't live off of it.
That's debatable.
True. I can't live healthy off of it.
There you go.
Awesome. Marit?
I don't want to show myself, but...
Oh, hey.
I love cooking. I have gotten so lazy in the past few years. So I need a kickstart. I love following recipes. I have no excuse. So inspiration, Maggie.
Hope I helped.
I think we have Lindsay back. If you are here. Oh, it says connecting to audio, so maybe not.
You want to introduce yourself, Ashley? I'm not sure if you did.
Oh, sure. I am Ashley Bells. I work for Artisan Partners, doing competitive intelligence. I'm also one of the co-chairs with Mara for the engagement committee hosting this event today. I have been with EWL since the first year, so I feel like I know every ounce of this place and would love to talk about it with anyone that will listen. I'm a big cheerleader for EWL. I have met some incredible women and made some really good connections. So Maggie, we're so grateful for you to do this today. And it was really awesome to hear about your business and how you built it. And I love that you weaved in some great tips on ways that we can make freezer meals and pop them in the oven and just make our lives a little easier. So very thankful for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody.
You guys, we are over time.
Yeah.
Maggie, if you want to wrap it up.
Thanks, Ashley.
Sure. Just thank you everybody for coming and giving me this chance to speak too. I would love if you have any suggestions of this. I want to be Rachel Ray when I grow up, or the Barefoot Contessa. So any thoughts you have on besides having 2 screens so I can actually show you the food that I'm cooking and also show you the top of my head, that would be awesome. But everybody have a really good day. Go play outside. It looks like it's a beautiful one, and take care.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.